never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Astrology for Mystics with Jen. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. It's been a hot minute since I've been live because, life, right? I was going to go live last night, actually, but we ended up having some pretty strong storms. It knocked out our power, and luckily our power is back on today, but man, did we have some trees down. It was nasty last night. We ate, luckily I'd made pork chops pork chops and mushroom gravy and things like that in the crock pot. So luckily we had something to eat. So we ended up eating a pork chop sandwich. It's pretty good. I ate it again for lunch today. So welcome, guys. We are going to be talking about Nancy Guthrie, and she's still missing. Don't know if she'll ever be found. But I can tell you that it's definitely a conspiracy. I've been saying it since day one. I would love to say that, oh, it's something more simple, but it's just, it's just not. I just don't think it is. I want it to be. I want it to be something much more simple, and I just don't think it is. So anyway, hello, everyone. Hello, Dinah, Jeff, Rakeem. Good to see you guys. Hi, y'all. D Green's in the house. Haven't seen you in a hot minute, girl. Curious Gemini. Thank you for subscribing, babe. Thank you. Hey, Anna. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Jeff is working. Hopefully he'll get off work. TGIF, babe. This is Jeff's Friday. Hopefully he gets off work today early. Well, it's already 2:30, so maybe not too early. Hey, Cree Design. Mary Ann. Hey, y'all. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to, what I want to do is I want to show you guys some of the things that I've been watching with Brian Enton with his uploads as of late. And I want to show you also the astrology. And I know that some of you guys are new here, understand the method, the way that I use astrology, and that's okay. It's okay. All you have to do is just understand what you can understand. Whatever it is that I say that you understand, take that and don't stay stuck on something that you don't understand. Okay? Because when I tell you that this case is a conspiracy, it's been a conspiracy, it's going to be a conspiracy. There are multiple people involved, and they are higher ups. Nancy was not just some chick, this older chick that goes missing. She's Savannah Guthrie's mother. Savannah, Savannah, the one that was interviewing the Epstein clan, getting Alan Dershowitz all in an uproar. Remember that long time ago? Remember, Prince Andrew? Y'all remember? Because millions of documents had dropped when Nancy went missing. The ambassador for Israel had just come into town. But why Nancy? Well, because, you want somebody to shut up. All you got to do is take what they love, make a statement, because that's what this is all about, is just making a statement. It was really never about money. If it was really about money, do y'all really think that it's about money? Y'all let me know. Let me know. I don't want to tell you guys how to think. I just want to tell you that the astrology is supporting this theory that I have. And the only reason why it's supporting this theory that I have is because the theory developed as I read the astrology, because I'm not trying to fix, manage, control it. Whatever the astrology is telling me is something that I just can't ignore. I want to say it's more simple, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Here we go. Let's talk about let's show Brian Enton, and let's talk about what he is saying here with Dr. Gary. Okay, because Dr. Gary is, you know, he's got a lot of good ideas here with his professionalism, with his expertise. So I think that we should listen in here. Okay. Here we go, guys.
In this episode, I'm joined now by Dr. Gary Brucato. It's nice to see you, Dr. Brucato. He's a forensic and clinical psychologist, a researcher on violent crime. He's a visiting scholar at Boston College, a member of the expert panel for the Cold Case Foundation, and has a very popular book, The New Evil: Understanding the Emergence of Modern Violent Crime. So I'm really happy to talk to you today, Dr. Brucato. I've been talking to a lot of people. I think someone you work with too, Dr. Burgess.
Let's get this show on the road. Let's get the
Such
juice
high
happening.
value to you. So that's also very tricky. And then you start thinking about the possibility of just abduction, for generally, I mean, there are only about 350 abductions in the country a year, and they are almost all children, very unusual for it to be an older person. And one of the most important things to bear in mind is that in those situations, it is usually someone who knows you. Now,
Okay, let's stop it here. So Dr. Gary is saying it is usually somebody that knows you, right? Well, yeah, it's going to be somebody that knows Nancy. It's very rare. Very rare. There's like 1% in the whole entire world, 1%, where an elderly person is kidnapped. Okay, and let's just say this too. She is not an elderly person. The thumbnail here is showing her arm. And so that's what I want you guys to understand too, is that when we think about Nancy Guthrie, we have been told over and over again that it's a crime, that there was a crime that was committed. And it could be, it could definitely be a crime that's been committed. And if it was a crime committed, then it's definitely with the higher ups. Okay. And I'm going to get there. She could have definitely walked out of that house on her own. When you see the picture of Savannah and her mom, and she's holding the cane, the infamous photo, she's next to Savannah, she's holding the cane. You can see her arm is black. Her left arm is black, black and blue. Elderly people bleed easily. If y'all have elderly parents, you know this. You know that they bleed easily. They could bump it and it bleeds. They could bump it and then all of a sudden, the whole arm turns blue, black and blue, because they bumped their arm. So I think that that's something we really need to consider, because we've been told that there was a crime that was committed, but we, the public, we don't have any evidence that there's a crime that's committed. There is no crime that she walked out of her front door and didn't call anybody or hasn't responded. Obviously, we think that there's a crime that's committed, but I'm just saying, as far as the evidence goes, as far as the facts go, Nancy could have easily hit her elbow, hit her arm, hit her forearm, and it bled. And that's the blood that we see. That's the blood that they see in the foyer. That's the blood that they see walking outside the home. It could easily be that. It could be something so simple. And not like, she was beaten or whatever and carried over somebody's shoulder and, deceased and somebody walking with dead weight on them. Come on. We've got to, I just think that just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any common sense to me. But, I'm not telling you guys how to think. I'm just giving you another way in which to interpret the blood. that we see on the front porch. Okay, guys? Because we don't know. What we do know is that it's very rare for an elderly person to be kidnapped by somebody that they don't know. Somebody knew this woman and they went in there in the middle of the night. You don't go in the middle of the night to rob somebody. You don't go while they're there. You go when they're not at home. Okay, so this wasn't a robbery. This wasn't a kidnapping because somebody likes old women. This is not that type of. And look, if the predator, if there's one, if this guy that's all masked up, that's what makes us think it's a crime, right? If this guy that's or woman, whoever is, that's all masked up, how is it that they just hung out for 40 minutes, just hanging out? Were they talking? Were they reminiscing? Like, what the hell is going on here? And yeah, it could have definitely been done for retribution. Hit it where the emotions are. Somebody that wanted to either scrub a situation or create a major statement. Major statement, you know. So anyway, let me finish with this. Let's get this show on the road because I want you to hear. I don't know if you've heard Dr. Gary yet, but I want you to hear some of what he has to say. Here we go.
Say this is actually a homicide. Up to 92%, according to some reports, up to 92% of people who are killed in the United States know their killer in some way. The estimates are between 76 and 92%, according to the various literature I've read. So you think about that and you say, okay, so this person who did this probably has some passing relationship, at least, with this victim. And that matches some of the comfort level, potentially spending quite a lot of time in the house and things like that we see on the screen. Now, if you take all of that information and you put it alongside what we're glimpsing on the camera, what I was very struck by, and I know that Mary Ellen O'Toole, for example, the prominent profiler, has made the same point. A lot of what we're seeing is somebody who is way too cool under pressure, looks not even flinching under pressure. And that kind of person that we see, when we see that, we start thinking about a person who probably has some psychopathic character structure, because even somebody who is frequently committing crime, who isn't psychopathic, is going to look a little nervous. They're going to do some things that show physiological evidence of being a little scared of getting caught. This person took time to conceal his identity and to not leave traces, but clearly is unafraid. The reason that's extremely important is because when we're dealing with somebody with that kind of character structure, the probability is very high that the person has had a long history of either inappropriate behavior that people would remember or criminal behavior. So that
Okay, so criminal behavior, let's stop it there. Because criminal behavior is something that it's kind of like an MO, okay? So if you are looking for someone to do your dirty work, you're going to look into the criminal system to do your dirty work. It's not like these higher ups with their suits and their political agendas walked on to Nancy's property and took her. They're going to have people do that for them. They're not going to do that. And who is going to be the best candidate? A past convict. A past convict, a patsy, right? Isn't that what they call them? A patsy. It's like, we're talking about the Charlie Kirk case. We're talking about the Epstein files. And then you have people going, well, the FBI should just take over. The FBI should just take over. Okay, so now all of a sudden, the FBI is, they're not corrupt anymore. You see what I'm saying? It's like none of this is really jiving with me, because if you either trust the FBI or you don't. You either trust the CIA or you don't. It's not, well, we're going to trust them on this case and not trust them on that case. We're going to trust this person with this, but then we're not going to trust them with this. You see what I'm saying? Like, make it make sense, because it ain't making sense. Well, look who is in the chat. Hey, girl. Hey, honey. Good to see you. We've got lights. Yay. So anyway, this is Dr. Gary and Brian Inton, and Dr. Gary is just giving his professional opinion. So let's just keep listening, and I'll interrupt as I think that it's going to show the astrology. Okay, let me keep going.
Individual that is on the camera looks to me like somebody who may very well have come into contact with law enforcement previously. And so there are two things I would be doing, because I really believe this person is local because of the comfort level. And I know many experts agree with that. And you put these two things together and you start thinking, okay, we should be talking to prisoners and people in jail and the demi-monde, of the area.
What I don't understand when he says this is, why is it that they think that it's somebody local? If someone is in another state and they are Googling Nancy's address and the layout of her home from another state, then like Colorado, then how is this person now local? Like, make it make sense. The person they think is local, but then they think that they were making, they were looking up her address from another state. What is going on here? Why do they think it's somebody local? Why? What is the evidence to say that this person that took Nancy is local? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why? Where's the evidence of that? Because if y'all have seen it, let me know. But I haven't seen the evidence of that. Okay. Just haven't. Hey, Hope Floats. Good to see you, girl.
And we should also be talking to people in the area who may remember having a kind of nasty run-in with a person, a grudge holding kind of nasty person.
Hey guys, this message is
Let's keep
sponsored
going.
by.
Does not come across.
Have you heard that vaginal estrogen is only
Oh, well.
Adept at what he is doing. He's comfortable, but makes a lot of foolish, amateurish mistakes. I mean, as simple as not wearing your holster correctly and in a way that could be very dangerous. The firearm not matching the holster, the flowers and the camera, getting caught on camera.
Hold on. No. See, let's think about this. If the holster was on the right or on the left, the camera may not have caught that. The person put the holster right in front for a reason. And to call it an amateur, well, guess what? This amateur has gotten away with taking Nancy and has not been caught. Doesn't seem like much of an amateur to me. If it was an amateur, don't you think that they would have been a little bit sloppy? A little bit sloppy. So far, Nancy has not been found, and neither has this perpetrator. So to say that this perpetrator is an amateur, I think is a little bit, I don't see the evidence of that. So, and if you guys disagree, please let me know. I'm fine with it. He is looking at the spectrum of them stalking her for months. All right.
I think that person is a not particularly bright, but willing to do horrible things type, that might have been asked to participate in this by some more scheming individual behind the curtain. And
Yeah.
if I'm right about that, the more scheming person behind the curtain is going to be somebody who is living a little bit more of a double life. The type of person who would superficially look even pro-social or kind to the victim, but who has a reason to want to eliminate them. Do I think that the person who did this knew the victim? Yes, I do. 92%, as I said, of people who are killed, and it does look like that may have happened here, do know the person who did it in some way. So to put this all together, I'm thinking at least one male, probably a group of people collaborating, one more openly at least, and perhaps somebody behind the curtain or party behind the curtain, probably financially driven, probably was an attempt to abduct that went south, or an outright homicide, and in either case, probably some kind of financial motivation underlying it.
Gosh, you gave me a lot to think about there. It's so interesting. Statistically, Are there stats about how often something like this is solved? Because that's one of the big questions now. I mean, it's been more than 2 months. Do the statistics tell us whether there's a likelihood this will be solved or will go unsolved?
Well, it's a little tricky because remember that the statistics require that you know who did it in order to determine those details, those motivational details. So we don't wind up with data on, those features of unsolved cases necessarily. But what I can tell you from experience is that because people have a tendency to think of these cases like a TV show, they think that there should be a rapid, 30 minutes and it's all solved kind of thing. But the reality is they can take a very long time, particularly when you're relying upon something like a blend of DNA that's going to have to be meticulously teased apart. That to establish a profile where you've got mixed DNA could take something even like a year, take a long time. And then you're probably going to use genealogical data. My sense is that the way this might get solved is some combination of genealogical data from DNA, which is a common technique these days, and then also trying to catch whoever door guy is, who I think is probably going to lead to the center of the spider web. So that individual could be told, look, you can make a deal here and maybe it'll lessen your sentence, or these people don't care about you, they'll throw you under the bus, that kind of thing. But I think that once they identify one person in what is probably a group, because it's very hard to do this alone or to even understand why you would, it's going to lead probably to the center of a circle. Do I think it'll get solved? I actually do, but I think it's going to take some time, and I am of the opinion that people behind the scenes are holding close to the vest some information, because I think that just too much is out there, and I think they don't want to compromise it. But my sense is they must have some lead.
And if statistically 92% of cases like this are normally committed by someone who knows the victim, I would
Homicide,
think,
yes.
yeah, that would help investigators, right? Because they at least
Yes.
have some roadmap.
Well, it should help investigators. It should help investigators. But if the investigators are a part of the problem and not a part of the solution, then we can't rely on investigators. And this is where we come in with case after case after case after case that I've looked at that involves corruption. When you have corruption at the highest state in the FBI, in the White House, Epstein files. Look, the fact is, there were 3 million documents dropped on January 30th, right before she went missing. 3 million. Her son-in-law, not Tomasso, her son-in-law, Mike, and his group, his connections with the Clintons connections with the prince, the king, the UK. We have a lot of high profile people that have been accused by Virginia, the late Virginia Guthrie's, and other victims, that these higher up people have hurt them, have harmed them. We have the Israeli ambassador that comes to Arizona the day that she goes missing. We have a lot of higher up people that want to make a statement. And what better way to shut Savannah up than to take her mama? She wasn't taken for money, because if she was taken for money, the ransom, Google it. Google it. If you are kidnapped for a ransom, that ransom is going to come in within 24 hours. And it's not going to go to a news station. Okay. 24 hours. It was 3 days. 3 days later. And let me just remind you guys that for 3 days, the media, Mercury, the media was talking about, they wondered if there was going to be any type of ransom. The media procured that. The media procured that, and then it came to a media station. Just people, look, if I show you the first ransom that came in on February 3rd, Prince Andrew, his brother, their family connects to Nancy. Their family connects to Epstein. I can show you their charts. There's connection after connection after connection. And I can't tell you enough that this case, from an astrological point of view, is nothing but conspiracy driven. And if she is found, I just don't see it. I hope I'm wrong. I do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope she is found, and I hope that we do learn, but I don't trust any of the agencies. I don't trust the CIA. Look at Charlie Kirk's case. Look at the Epstein files. Look at everything that we have been going through as a society with the distract, confuse, conquer, with the media and those that are bought and paid for. The fact is that Mike worked for the Clintons. He has insider, with the Clintons. The Clintons were going to court, or supposed to be going to court. We have all of this going on when Nancy goes missing. So she didn't have, all this money. There is not anything that is saying, she was assaulted, SA'd inside the home. All we have are some drops of blood. And so if we were to walk outside of her front door, it would appear to me, you tell me if I'm wrong, but it appears to me that the drops of blood would have come from her left arm, from her left side. And that's where she was bruised, black and blue, on, in a lot of those pictures with Savannah. So if she is black and blue and she bumps herself, elderly people are going to bleed easily. So that to me looks like drops of blood from her left side, not her right side, but her left side. Okay. So that is and that's where, when we look at the videos, she's holding, or when we look at the pictures, I don't know if she's left-handed or not, but when we look at the pictures with her standing next to Savannah, it appears that this left arm, is holding the cane, So if she is walking out that front door and there's drops of blood, the other thing too is that they did not check. I don't understand why the welcome mat wasn't checked for DNA. We've never heard that mat was taken up. We didn't see it being taken up. We didn't hear about it being taken up. And I don't understand that. There's a lot of this investigation that I feel like is just so backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's so backwards. So when we think about Nancy's case, we have to think about the facts too of what took place before she goes missing. Before she goes missing on the 30th, 3 million documents drop. And her son-in-law is, he's with the Epstein files. Larry Summers with the Epstein files. Their Glover Park group, Epstein files. Their connections with higher up people like the king and queen, the prince, the UK. We've got all of these high profile connections. So we have to keep that in mind. And I don't understand why these investigators and why these psychologists and these reporters are not talking about the actual fact that Nancy Guthrie isn't just some elderly person that disappeared. She is a high profile woman because of her daughter, because of her daughter's connections with the Epstein files. Why do people not talk about that? It's baffling to me. I don't know about you guys, but it's very baffling to me. There is all these connections that are very obvious, but we're not talking about them. When I looked at when I looked at her chart, I immediately thought Epstein. When I saw Charlie Kirk, that chart the night before, Epstein. And it's like, why is it? It's not that Epstein is running around taking people. I definitely don't believe he's dead, but I don't think that he's running around taking people. I think that the people that he is associated with, the people that are associated with Epstein have a play. They have a part in all of the drama that is going on in the world. And this is even going to the General McCaslin because Epstein and his boo boo Ghislaine Maxwell, they were all about physics and jet propulsion, UFO disclosure, consciousness. So it's not like we're just dealing with people that are not, that are just, hanging out on an island. These people are associated with other countries like Israel. They are. And Mike is Jewish. So Savannah and Mike are raising their kids Jewish too. And we have to consider all the facts. So many people have been focused on Annie and Tomasso. And why are people not focused on Mike? And Mike is in transit today, all day. He was in transit yesterday too, all day. And it's a collective type of transit. It's trans Pluto. There is a transformation with his connection with Syria, his connection with Missouri, and the connections that he has with the military money. Okay, the markets. There is so much about this case that goes so deep that I don't even think we can wrap our our heads around just how deep it goes. It is so deep. You got from Nancy's house, you got Fort Huachuca. You got Raytheon. And then, yeah, we have Lockheed Martin. We have got to wake up to the people that we are, I was talking to somebody earlier. They said, yeah, this person is, they're corrupt. And I'm like, they're all corrupt. If you name me one politician that is not corrupt, okay, just name me one. And then I want you to prove that they have never been involved in anything corrupt. These people are corrupt. The people that Nancy knows, that her daughter knows, that her son-in-law knows, Mike, they are corrupt. Big time. Okay? But we're not going to hear that from Gary. We're not going to hear that from Gary. He's not going to go that route. And it's a safe route. I get it. It's a safe route for everybody to just not say what we're all thinking. You got the Epstein drop. You got the Israeli ambassador coming into town to teach, to go to the Hebrew. There's all kinds of Hebrew schools there. We've looked at them on the map. And we see the lines going right there telling a beautiful story. We have seen all of the different places like Fort Huachuca. We've seen Raytheon. Raytheon, Nancy's Neptune her Neptune line goes right down over Raytheon. 2941. What does the 2941 connect to? Missouri and Israel. Raytheon, Missouri and Israel. And there is going to be an opposition to her with the flame of life that's coming. What they're going to do, I think, with this DNA, this new DNA that they have swapped, that they've sent it off with the FBI and yada yada, there will probably end up being somebody that's going to take the fall eventually. But here's the thing. We've got this this DNA. Dude was completely covered. So are we looking for DNA that's not the family? Oh, well, if it's Annie, well, if it's Savannah, well, if it's Mike, oh, it's, we're looking for somebody not in the family. We're looking for somebody that we can place there that Nancy doesn't know, even though they've said that the person has to be what they think somebody she knows. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Lord help us. Let's finish.
And we've heard that they were talking to all the contractors who had been in the house, but you know, that would at least give them something to go on, right? Versus just thinking it could be anyone out there that random.
Right. Well, an important point is that if a person knows you and they have a personal grudge against you, an emotional grudge against you, or if they commit the offense themselves instead of hiring somebody or asking somebody else who doesn't care about you to do it, you tend to see a much more emotional scene, very explosive, gory kind of thing, because there's rage or some other emotion that is playing out. What we know about this scene suggests a very calculated and pragmatic kind of thing. But the idea is that I still think that probably the person knew her because of the comfort level. And so it suggests to me that they should be talking to anybody that has had a passing connection with her that would require some knowledge of her finance.
I mean, I'm just curious. What about this? What about this one? I mean, if we really want to talk about the people that could be associated with Nancy, let me show you this. Emotional. I think that Mr. Jewish Alan Dershowitz and his interview with Savannah was very emotional. It was very emotional. In fact, not only is he tied to Epstein, but he absolutely adores, loves Mr. Bibi, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, right? So, yeah, if we wanted to talk about retribution or a lot of emotions that are tied to Savannah Guthrie, if all we want to do is make a statement, revenge, retribution, we'll take her mama. Just take her mama. He absolutely adores Bibi. In fact, many do. And there are a lot of connections with this case, Netanyahu, Alan Dershowitz, the Clintons, Prince Andrew, and King Charles. And you got to tell me why. You got to tell me why. Well, it's just a coincidence. No, nah, I don't think so. Don't think so. Try again. No, it's not. No, it's not. And happy new moon in Aries. This is where things are going to get a little bit more clear. A little bit more clear, a little bit more blunt. We're not going to be in la la land. Okay? We got all kinds of planets in Aries now, so let's go with it.
Or the inside of her home or her property or something like that. And that can include people that are very intimately aware of you, all the way down to people that just come to the house for trade work or services or anything like that. But I definitely agree that the radius around the crime scene of people that are going to know something or have encountered the.
See, here's the thing, Dr. Gary. Here's the thing. If I could just talk to Dr. Gary, I would ask him this. Do your statistics take into account a high profile person like Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show, who is showing her mother on the Today Show all the time, who was probably on set when she interviewed Alan Dershowitz, who knows everything and everything about the Epstein case, the Clintons, because Nancy Guthrie's connection to Hillary Clinton is not a good one. In fact, Nancy Guthrie's connection to the late Queen Elizabeth is not a good one. Nancy, evidently, per her chart, does not connect with Hillary Clinton in a good way at all. At all.
Type of person to do this is not very gigantic. I think you're talking about somebody sort of within, a small radius of that house.
If it is financially driven, financially motivated, one thing that I've struggled with is why choose Nancy Guthrie? Of all the rich people out there, I mean, you knew if you're the person behind this or the group, you know that the daughter is famous. This is going to get a lot of attention. It just seemed like there would be a simpler way to do a financially motivated abduction, get the money and not have a big scene like this.
Well, you're making a very smart point, which is right at the heart of a lot of what I write about, which is that one of the clues that somebody knows you or is more fantasy oriented or grudge oriented is that you do things in the crime that incur risk because they're not necessary pragmatically to achieve your aim. So why would you do them? Right. And, now look, it's entirely possible that because you're local, you look for a person in the local area who happens to be tied to someone who you think would have the money to pay ransom for a family member. But that's precisely what points to me to someone who had an encounter with her, who had a close, some not close necessarily, but a tie to her, because it does raise that question of why her. Now, certainly from a victimological perspective, she was a very vulnerable and easy target. And yet, whoever did this, being a nefarious person who isn't especially bright, didn't seem to think through the reality that a lot could go wrong when you're trying to go into the home of a probably very frightened 84-year-old woman who might not have had her hearing aids in, who would have been terrified, absolutely terrified, if she was awake for any portion of this, alert for any portion of this, and how much could go south. For example, the blood we see could have even been from an accidental fall on the way out the door, or anything like that. So
Exactly. It wouldn't even for an elderly person, we don't even have to know statistics. You just got to know an elderly person, guys. If you know an elderly person, you know. They bruise easily, they bleed easily. Come on, we've got to use our head here. It doesn't mean that she was taken over, something happened and she's, taken out over somebody's shoulder. There is definitely not. We haven't heard of any evidence that something bad took place in her house. We just know that there is some blood in the foyer, or that's what we've heard, and we have seen that there's blood on the porch. She could have easily bumped her arm on the way out the door. And that's the blood that we see. Doesn't mean that she's deceased. There's no evidence of that. And as far as these statistics go, what about these stats with a high profile case like Nancy Guthrie? Because her daughter was interviewing the victims. Savannah was interviewing the victims. And we have her brother that was, he's a military dude flying F-16s. Who makes the F-16s? There's a lot. There is so much to this case. I just feel like we really need to talk about the obvious. And the most obvious to me is the Epstein files. It's the Epstein files and distract, conquer, and confuse. That's how they conquer us. I mean, I guess it could have been a nosebleed, but I'm making the point that elderly people bruise easily and they bleed easily. So we need to be talking about this fact with the elderly. They bruise easily, they bleed easily. Period. Period.
I think that my strong inclination is that this did not go the way it was supposed to, and the person wound up totally empty-handed. And then there was nothing to do from there except eliminate evidence and probably contact whoever was behind.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true, though. I mean, you could think that, yeah. I mean, that is true that, yeah. But like, I'm not on blood thinners. My mom's not on blood thinners. My mom is she definitely, I mean, she definitely bruises easy. She can bump her hand, and then the next thing you know, her whole hand is black and blue. My grandmother, the same way. They're not on blood thinners. It's just that that happens as you get older. It's awful that it happens as we get older, but it does. You know, I can hit myself and I go, oh, dang it, I know it's going to be a bruise. Well, as I get older, that bruise isn't just going to be a little, little bruise. It's going to go big. It's going to go big. It'll be on my whole arm, my whole leg, whatever it is that I bump. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah, and your skin rips easily. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. So we've got to think about that with Nancy because she's not just some young chick, she's going to bleed easily. So if we're thinking about where'd the blood come from? How, why was there blood? Because she's an elderly woman. That's why. That's easily solved right there, especially if there's not a crime scene inside the home, which we don't know. We've just heard bits and pieces. But let's say that there's not a crime scene inside. She definitely just hit herself. She bumped herself. That's my story there.
The curtain and say, I don't know what you're going to do now, but I don't have it. I can't do anything here. So
That's true. That's true, honey. I'm just stating the whole reason why I began this live. If you look at the thumbnail, it's about her being an elderly person, any elderly person. And the fact is nobody is talking about that. Nobody is talking about the fact that she is an elderly person. Whether she's on blood thinners or not, she is going to easily tear, easily bleed, right? She's going to easily do all of this. It doesn't necessarily mean like a crime scene, right? So I think that we just need to, I just want to hear us talking about this more, talking about it more. Hey, Jill, good to see you, girl. Yeah, better late than never. Some elders, like mom, was on a thinner. You had to use glue cause too thin for Band-Aids. Well, what I'm saying is, guys, whether it was blood thinners or not, elderly people bleed easily. Can we just agree on that? You don't have to be on a blood thinner. It's the same thing. You're going to bleed easily. You're going to bruise easily. You just are. So whether or not you're on blood thinners or not, you're going to bleed easily as you get older. Okay, let's just all agree on that because it's a fact. It's an absolute fact. Okay.
that's my strong sense of what happened.
Do you tend to believe that some of the ransom notes are real?
Well, it would be very helpful, of course, to have the text of them, but if the to review, but if the ransom notes were real, then you would start getting into an additional motive, which is somebody who, for whatever reason, additionally sadistically likes needling, or kind of feels the need to be in the public eye or have some notoriety or whatever. And that can happen with people, particularly if they're of the kind of psychopathic, narcissistic variety. But then the question again becomes,
I mean, let's just think about this. If they are narcissistic, I mean, what profile? Who's going to do it? If I mean, wouldn't they be like that? Wouldn't they be a psychopath to do something like this? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the normal person is just going to go and do this? No, absolutely not. So I'm getting a little irritated with Mr. Gary, only because, and I understand why he's not going down the rabbit hole of the actual facts of who Nancy knows. But it does irritate the shit out of me that these professional people, whom I do respect, are not talking about the obvious. So let me show you the obvious here, because this is where we can see it. Hold on. Let me pull up my entire screen, because I want to show the astrology and I want to get to talking about the map, because my goodness gracious. Oh, it's absolutely you can't deny it. Like, once you see it, you just can't deny it, okay? Here we go. Let me show you my entire screen here. Oh my God, Hope. You did what? Oh, where did it go? Oh my gosh. I got a cracked tailbone, and I tell you what, it never it hurts. I'm in my mids, no medication at all, and I bleed with most bumps or scrapes. That's pretty much my point here, is that when we age, as we age, whether we are on thinners or not, it's a natural occurrence that happens. And so Nancy Guthrie, we know that she had a pacemaker. We know that she is an elderly woman. We know that we have seen, the fact is, we have seen pictures, photos of her black and blue arm. Nobody was like, oh my God, who gave her that bruise? What happened? Was she being abused? Nobody is saying none of that, because we know what goes on with the elderly. We know this. But what we're not talking about is what we know with the elderly. Oh, where'd the blood come from? I just don't understand. It must have been a crime. No, it doesn't mean that it was a crime. She's old. She is, as we get old, we are bumping ourselves and bruising up and bleeding and shit. And it's like, oh my God, now there's blood everywhere. And I just bumped my hand and now there's blood everywhere. Nobody's talking about it. And I just wanted to talk about it today because it matters in the grand scheme of things. And let me show you the astrology, because I want to show you where we are going to, I want to start with Prince Andrew. I want to start with him because we know that Savannah, okay, let's agree on this, okay? We know that Savannah was interviewing the victims of the Epstein crew. The Epstein crew would be Epstein, Ghislaine, Alan Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew. And they are loyal, okay? Their loyalty is with each other. Their loyalty is with their past, the things that they have on each other, the bribery. And they also have another thing in common: their love for Netanyahu, their loyalty to Bibi. Okay. And we can see that today. with the Iran-Lebanon saga. There is a loyalty to Bibi. And this loyalty goes a long way. But for two people, Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, those are the two that Savannah was really coming down hard on, especially because of, Virginia Guthrie'S. So anyway, let's keep on going. Let's look at this. Okay, so we're going to look at Prince Andrew and the first ransom that came in. The first ransom that came in, if you remember, was on February 3rd. Remember that, guys? It was on February 3rd. So we don't know exactly what time that they came in, but if I were to show you this time period at 10:37 a.m., it is because I have Alan Dershowitz here, but I won't get into Alan just yet because I don't have him pulled up. But who I do have pulled up is I have Prince Andrew. So we can look at Jupiter. Jupiter was at a 1703 in the 4th house of home. Jupiter had already expanded these communications with Prince Andrew, with the media, when Jupiter was at the 1707. When Jupiter was at the 1707, it was about 3 hours prior, and it was at the 1707. There was an expansion with the media, and it was hidden. Okay? It was hidden because this 8th house is about hidden sex. It's about things that are hidden. It's the desire house. We're desiring the media to expand communication. So that would have taken place about 4 hours prior. This 422 is Tomasso's connection with Netanyahu. This 422, Netanyahu all day long, Israel all day long. Okay. And of course, we've got to remember that the Epstein files did drop. This 2854 was Saturn, the 12th house, about things of the past. The 2854 is making a connection. So we have limits and obstacles. And what was going on with Prince Andrew that day? What was going on with Prince Andrew on the 3rd? Well, let's look at it. Let's look. Prince Andrew and February 3rd. Let's see. What was going on? Well, let's see. Andrew was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office in February 2026. Nope. No. Okay, so what was going on with Prince Andrew? Okay, because I'm just wondering. Relationship of Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein on February 3rd, 2026, the pressure group Republic reported Andrew to the police after alleging that he was involved. Okay, here we go. So we can see that this is what was happening with him. As this ransom was coming in on February 3rd, 2026, the pressure group Republic reported Andrew to the police after alleging that he was involved in trafficking a woman to the UK for SA in 2010, citing the Offences Act of 2003. Okay, so when I tell you that he was in transit, now do you see what I'm talking about? Because he was. And I'm just showing you that he was in transit on February 3rd. And that morning, there was an expansion with Jupiter, with hidden sex, with his home. Limits and obstacles were taking place from things in the past with him. And this was happening at the same time that the first ransom is coming in to the news stations. I can't make it up. I wish I could, but I can't. These connections in our chart matter in the state of matter. And I show it every single day, all day, every day. Every day. Okay, let's go back. But this is where I want to see. Okay, so now we know that this definitely, this is definitely a connection. Okay, we know that there was things going on with Prince Andrew on February 3rd. Now, let's take it a step further. Let's look at Prince Andrew and Arizona. Let's see if they have a connection. Okay, because I could go through all these connections and tell you everybody that I'm seeing, because the other things that I'm seeing here, besides Israel and Tomasso on this this fourth house of home, I'm also seeing this 1015 definitely goes to Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm seeing that there are things from there's something that is hidden here in the 8th house, and this could be an attorney. This could be about immigration. This could be about the trafficking, going far. Okay. I can see so much. We can see that this 1608, again, we're looking at things of the past. Well, it's coming into a lot of energy, is coming with it to the 7th house of groups. This 1608 with series is coming to a 1609. And when it does, there is a expansion with a lot of energy with this divine justice with a group. That's the Republic. That's the Republic that we just read about. Okay, now let's take this a step further. And let's see if Prince Andrew has any connections with Arizona. Prince Andrew, let's look at Arizona. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just playing the numbers game. Okay, I'm just playing the numbers game. We're matching numbers. Very elementary, very elementary. Okay, we're playing the numbers game. We're matching numbers. This 2758 with Arizona in their 11th house of groups, how they bring in money, the things that are hidden within the past prisons, past hospitals, medications, medicines, healthcare, all of that. Okay, the 11th house is the friendships with Arizona, these friendships with Arizona. That would be the government of Arizona, 2758. 2758. Okay, so now we see that Prince Andrew has a connection with the friend groups, the government of Arizona. So this 2758 is a breakup. There's a breakup with two people, with communications with two people when it comes to Prince Andrew. Okay? Y'all following me? Are you following me? Do I need to repeat it? Let me go ahead and repeat it. This 2758 is connecting to Prince Andrew and his Vulcanus in Gemini. This is about two. This is about communications. This could also be about the Ring camera on Nancy's home. There's two. And there's a breakup here. And it could be with medicines. The medicines. With healthcare. Things having to do with things of the past. Because Pisces is about things of the past. Okay? So we can definitely see that that there's this connection. Now, let me take it a step further. Let's look at Prince Andrew with Nancy Guthrie. Let's look at Prince Andrew with Nancy Guthrie. Where's he at? Prince Andrew with Nancy Guthrie. Okay. Okay. So Prince Andrew, in his chart, he has information that comes in from the things of the past at a home, because it's in Cancer. This 1919 is where he connects to Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay? This 1919, this is his connection with Miss Boothang. But Prince Andrew, his connection with Nancy Guthrie is through her Pluto and her kids. Well, I don't know what house this is in with her Pluto, but it's definitely about her kids because it's in Leo. Leo is about kids, it's about education, it's about teachers. It's also about teachers. So this 435 is right here, and Nancy, her Pluto is sitting right here, okay? her Pluto, her Chiron, all of this is sitting, actually, her Chiron is sitting in his first house with his life path. But her Pluto is sitting right here on top of his co-ascendant where he is receiving information. And the problem is this 435, her Pluto is opposing his everyday, and the information that he receives every day with groups. Okay. So that is his connection with Nancy. Now, let's look at that 422 that I was talking about that was coming in. Remember, on this day, when that first ransom comes in, hold on, let me go back. The first ransom, actually, let me show you Hillary, because I've said it and I've showed it a dozen times, but I'm going to show it one more time because this is going to matter. So Nancy Guthrie, no matter what time she's born, she connects to Hillary. Hillary's over here on the right now. Now we got Hillary on the right. Okay. No matter what time Nancy is born, she connects to Hillary Clinton, which we do have Hillary Clinton's birth time. It's public record. We do have her birth time. Okay. So Nancy has a warring. Okay. It's a warring. It's a warring that she has with a 419. This degree in her chart goes to the things that are hidden at a home with two people with communications at a home, because this is in Cancer. And that 419 is where she is connecting with Hillary Clinton. The other way that she connects with Hillary Clinton is right here. This 1814. 1814. Actually, it's not. It's the 18. Hold on. Where was it? Where was it? Was one other one, I think. It was this one. It wasn't the 1814. This is Utah. Okay. That 1814 is Utah, but this is this right here. This 1808 is Hillary Clinton. It's with her relationships, her partnerships. It's with two. That's why I know that there's two. There's at least two people that's involved with Nancy's case. This is definitely talking about the communications. And Hillary has an opposition with Mexico. So if Nancy would have been taken to Mexico, it would have been with the authority with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary opposes, she's got an opposition with Mexico. All right, so let's go back. This is Selena. This is the teacher that teaches whoever this is about all the attention with Nancy and her kids. That's how she connects to Nancy Guthrie. So she connects to Nancy Guthrie through her Selena in the 7th house of relationships and partnerships, and it's through money. It's through money. And she has this connection with her heiress. That's why I know that Nancy don't like Hillary. Or it could be that she did like her, but now she don't. But now she don't. Okay. The other thing too that I want to show you guys with these connections that we're making here is this. Okay. So we know that when that first ransom came in, let me go back. Where was the first ransom? Let's go back. Where was it? Okay, let's look at this first ransom with Hillary, okay? Because we looked at it with Prince Andrew. Now let's look at it with Hillary, because they should be showing up. The Epstein files have dropped. Shit's going down with Prince Andrew. And as soon as it lets, okay, so it's on, Saturn is on Prince Andrew. But guys, as soon as it leaves Prince Andrew and comes to a 2856, it's going to be making contact with the justice here, with the communications. That's why I'm saying that there is so much that is going on. And these people are taking up the collective transit. We can't deny the fact that when Nancy goes missing, these people were dominating the energy. Okay, if they're dominating the energy, right? If they are dominating this energy, because look, Hygeia had just left the 2420. The communications about the health has already left Hillary. Okay. And then Saturn is going to come and give her a little bit of justice. But we're not going to see it. We're not going to see it. If we're to have led back to her, we're not going to know about that. They're not going to be going, oh my God, Hillary did it. No, that's definitely not. She is too, no, not happening. The other thing too is there is an expansion about the war. We're going to be talking about Iran too. There is so much happening here. Well, this 438 is with the CIA when this ransom comes in, and then it's going to be on that 435 with Nancy. So anytime that 435, her Pluto is in transit, well, so is Prince Andrew. So is Prince Andrew. So all of these people are showing up in the astrology transits when Nancy goes missing, and they are dominating it. So if that's the case, and Nancy is connected to the Clintons and connected to the Epstein saga, well, then she's connected to it. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's connected to it. Will we ever know? Probably not. Probably not. What up, Army vet? Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, I didn't see that one last night. I didn't see I didn't see that. I didn't see anything last night. I didn't have any hey, peace, love, Jeeves. I didn't have any electricity. Good to see you guys. Good to see y'all. You dropped your wings. Oh, good to see you guys. You fly to the moon. All right. So yeah, that's I wanted to show you this along with let me make sure I've got my let me make sure I've got this off. Now we're going to look at this. So we know that Hygeia had just come to the 2420 with the lunar nodes. Okay, so the lunar nodes of fate with Hillary Clinton is a 2420. Okay, this also goes to Oklahoma. It connects to Oklahoma. But to keep it simple, this 2418, there was already communications about 2 with Hillary. Now we're looking at Mercury. All of this is in the 11th house. Look at all of this showing up in the 11th house of groups. There's a reigniting of a flame with these groups, with the Epstein saga. We've got the sun is shining, has just left shining on Arizona and Mexico. Then we have Mercury, and Mercury is coming to the 2420. Okay. So Mercury is going to come. So this means that what's happened is that within a couple of hours, and not even a couple of hours, within maybe, within maybe 5 or 10 minutes, by 11 a.m., the media is going to be talking about Hillary Clinton because this is the media. All right. So Mercury, once Mercury makes contact and activates her lunar nodes of fate, well, it's also going to ignite a lot of things with the media. The sun shining at a 1450 is definitely going to be opposing her Pluto. It's about kids. It's about kids and Mexico. And of course, there's other places that have the 1450, but I'm just saying. Okay. Now let's do this. Let's look at King Charles. let's look at King Charles and Savannah Guthrie, because when I tell you that there are connections in our charts, there is, and we can easily investigate with degrees. And that's what I'll live to do, is to show you guys that it really is the case that we can do this. King Charles and Savannah. Okay, let's look at it. So King Charles has a 349 in his chart. The 349 is a degree in which I associate Homeland Security with. Homeland Security, because most of the cases that I'm going to look at are going to involve kids. Okay, so the 349 degree is a Homeland Security. 349 Homeland Security. It could be that if I'm looking at a case, they could be in the UK, okay, because the 349 is going to King Charles all day, every day. It goes to his outer will. So the 349 that goes to Homeland Security also goes to Savannah, which also goes to King Charles. This matters because the people that Savannah that she was dealing with, well, King Charles didn't want any of that to come into the way of their little, bad name trying to be good, because they definitely don't have a good name. Okay. Definitely do not have a good name. So this energy with Savannah, no matter what time she's born, her physician that brings enlightenment with the government, with relationships, is connected to King Charles and Homeland Security. That would mean that our Homeland Security could be corrupt with King Charles. Okay. That's what that means. So we see their connection. Okay. There's also a connection. Let me see. Let me show you. Let's go to King Charles and his connection to the island, to the Virgin Islands. I was looking at Sebastian's case earlier. Where's the Virgin Islands? Let me pull it back up. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this, guys. You're not gonna find this information anywhere else. I don't know. I don't know how, to explain this any better than to show you an elementary way of looking at astrology and connections. Virgin Islands and King Charles. Okay, Virgin Islands is on the left, King Charles is on the right. Okay. So when we look at the Virgin Islands has a 355 with their Venus. Okay, this 355 is going to be showing up here in just a second. I'm going to show it to you. Their Venus in the 8th house of things that are hidden. This is hidden sex, hidden money, taxes. This is things that are hidden at the Virgin Islands. And it brings a lot of warring to the state. To Virgin Islands. Okay, so the 355 for King Charles is right here. It's his lunar nodes of fate. Okay, so his south node is here in the 4th house where he's been, and his north node where he's going with his public image with war and money, war and assets. Okay, so this 355 is connecting to their Venus. There's a connection with King Charles and the Virgin Islands. Okay, now watch this. Let's look at Savannah. Her connection with the Virgin Islands is this. Now I'm about to bring it all to you. Wait, watch this, okay? Her connection with the Virgin Islands is a 357. 357. It's right here. It's what she doesn't see. It's with her Neptune. It's about lawyers. It's about courts. It's about judges. It's about immigration, and there it is. There is Mars, and it's a lot of warring, lots and lots of warring that connects to this 357. Now, watch this. Watch. So we know that she is connecting in a major way because of the BS with our leaders who have been voted in, who consider themselves to be a king who is not shit. Okay? Who is not shit. Who is a liar. These people are disgusting. They are absolutely disgusting people. And people still love them. It's just the weirdest thing. I've never seen anything like it. All right, now watch this. Let's bring in Alan Dershowitz. Let's bring in Alan. Let's see what his connections are. Because there's definitely connections with this case, with Savannah, with her mother, and Alan Dershowitz, the lover of BB. BB, a lover right here. Like, he absolutely, I think that if he could polish the toenails of BB, Alan definitely would. He would polish BB's toenails. It's that sick. So Alan Dershowitz connects to the Virgin Islands with kids. Let me say that again. He connects to the Virgin Islands with kids. There is a wisdom here with relationships and the justice, and there's an opposition with the Mars. Who is the Mars in this? It's Savannah Guthrie. It is absolutely Savannah Guthrie. They have and share the 357, but he has an opposition with the kids. With the kids and the law enforcement. With the this would be a plane that would have him there. A plane. And what makes him have this opposition with Savannah is his kid, his daughter, was there when she was interviewing Alan. He said it. He said, my daughter is in the audience. She was there. He has not lost a kid yet, but it looks like he's going to. There is a kid loss here. There's something going on with a kid loss. So we have all of these connections with the Virgin Islands with Savannah Guthrie. And her mother was going through a Uranus return. Her mother was going through a Uranus return. So what does that mean, a Uranus return? There's a shakeup. There's a shakeup with money. It's called a ransom. Okay? Nancy Guthrie was going through a Uranus return. Her Uranus is a 2622. The 2622, this Uranus return that shakes people up at 84 years of age, is about money. It's about assets. It could be about oil. It could be about anything that is a 2622 of Taurus. This is a algol, a conspiracy type of energy. And that 2622, you see it, it's right there. So yeah, I do think that somebody was hired. I do think that people were hired to take Nancy. And I think it stems back right to Epstein and the fake leaders. This 2941 connects to Bibi Netanyahu. It connects to Russia, Vladimir. It connects to war. It connects to Israel and Missouri, okay? No matter what time she's born, she is connecting year. That 2941 is going to be opposed very soon. Let me show you the transits today. This is what's happening right now. Right now. And what I want to tell you that's coming today is there is going to be an expansion with Vladimir. This 401 is Mike Feldman. Let's bring him up. Let's go ahead and bring him up. Because Mike Feldman he's been called the scrubber, right? He's been called the scrubber. I don't know what, that means exactly, where he scrubs the internet, he scrubs things for the Clintons. And of course, he is endowed with, this Jewish religion with Bibi Netanyahu. Okay, no, shit. That's Savannah. I don't want to do that. I'm looking for Mike. There we go. Mike. I don't know what time he's born, but I do know that there's a non-mover. I do know of the non-movers in the charts. I memorize them like nobody's business. So we have this 401 that also connects to Missouri. So Michael and his mother-in-law connect to Missouri. And this is how this is how he connects to Missouri through their intense experience, through their vertex. Okay, this 401. So Missouri and Mike Feldman are in transit all day today. All day. And look at that. Look at that, guys. Do y'all see that? You see it? Do you see it? You see Selena right here? She's teaching about things of the past with that 435, honey, that has to do with Prince Andrew, that has to do with the Pluto of Nancy Guthrie, that 435 that I was just talking to you guys about. There it is, right there. This is the transits happening right this moment. There's Mike Feldman and his mother-in-law in the past, right here. Okay, and it's coming down to the 628, in which Nancy Guthrie has in her chart, Tomasso has in his chart. Because yeah, I definitely memorize. I'm really good with it. Look at that. Look at Mercury. What's Mercury at? Oh, Mercury is at a 357. Don't tell me that, Jennifer. Oh my God. Yes, guys, I didn't make this up. I just didn't create this chart to fool you. This 357 is Savannah Guthrie. This opposition is with Alan Dershowitz. And this 357 is the Mars in Aries of the Virgin Islands. Do you understand? Do you understand where I'm getting here? Like, this is literally in transit right now. Hello? I mean, can I get an amen? Can y'all clap? Can you do some flips or something? Can y'all do some flips or something? Like, can we do something? This is in transit right now, right this moment. Everything that I'm talking about is in transit right now. It's expressing itself with an opposition to Alan Dershowitz. Is it something I said, Alan? Could it be like, you polishing the toenails of BB? I don't know. I don't know, but it could be. There's an opposition with Alan right this moment. And let me show you something else, guys. Let me show you something else. I ain't even done. I'm not even done. Let me show you this. You're not doing a flip. Cinderella. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, guys. I love you. I love you guys. Okay, so there's a breakup. Look at that. There's a breakup with the 435. Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's connection. Ruh-rohs. Ruh-rohs. Shit's going downtown Julie Brown right now, guys. Let me tell you something else. We are about to have a shakeup in California. There is going to be a lot of divine justice with California momentarily. Okay, give it till about 7, 8 o'clock tonight. There's things going to be going down in California tonight. I definitely see Sebastian Rogers in transit. Check this out. This 736 is coming down to the it's coming to the 738. This is Nanos. This is Nanos. Nanos is going to be having some problems. He thought that he had problems, but he's going to have even more problems tonight. This is an opposition. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. What else do we see here? What else? Okay, so William Hubie, the convict that they could be going to be trying to blame this on, he's in transit right now too. There's a big shaky shake. There's a big shake up with him. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. Okay, we'll have to keep our eye and ears out for William Hubie that nobody else is talking about either. This is what I find weird too. If we let's just put all the cards on the table. I find this very odd too. I find it odd that people will be talking about Kayla and Luke, Kayla Day and Luke Daly, but nobody talks about her boo-boo, William Hubie. Why would nobody talk about the absconder, the big tough guy with all the tattoos, the guy that goes back and forth to Mexico? Why do they not talk about him? Why is nobody talking about Kayla's boyfriend, William? Don't y'all think that that's a little weird? If you're going to talk about Kayla, why don't you mention her boyfriend? The convict, the Hells Angels dude. If you're going to talk about Luke Daly and Kayla, why don't you talk about the dude? The dude that, spent 11 years in prison that was with Kayla, that knows Luke. Why would we not be talking about him? That's another one that kind of weirds me out. I'm like, what's going on? Just imagine doing a cartwheel. Can't do a flip, but whoop, whoop. I love you guys. Y'all are a trip. I'm flipping. Watch this. Okay, so we're not even done here with all this. The who is in transit. Hold on. Okay, so now we see who is in transit right now. All right, we see that Prince Andrew, that Nancy, her son-in-law, their connections to Missouri. Now we see, let's keep on going. Let's go up here. This 435 with Admitos. There's a breakup here with the courts, with the judge, with the long travels, with another country. There's a breakup. There's communications that's breaking up with Nancy. We see that Chris Nanos is going to be having some problems here momentarily. He's already having them, but I mean, he's really going to have them. There's a reigniting of a flame with Mexico, and we are going to see this lunar node come down to a 628. Let me show you that. Let me show you that, because the 628 definitely matters. It's found in Nancy's chart. It's found in her son-in-law, not this son-in-law, the other one. Let me show you. Hold on. His dark moon. Now, Mike's dark moon is probably more like a 313 or a 31319 too. So the dark moon is in opposition with his dark moon. I bet you anything. That this is actually, we could take him into a later birth time. But either way, you see the weight is at a 1400 with Hades. Well, it's coming. It's about to come to him and Hillary. Him and Hillary is going to share another weight again, and he could be polishing her toenails. Okay. Won't be long, and he'll be polishing her toenails. So let's go now to when this is going to show up, because I'm going to bring Tomasso up in just a minute. But first, let me show you Dominic. Let's look at Dominic with the chart right now. Let's look at that. Yes. Let's look at this. Okay. The reason why we need to look at Dominic with the transits right now is because, guys, let me show you something, okay? Let me show you a little something. Dominic, no matter what time he's born, his Cupid, where he takes other people's money, with this Scorpio, this 357 is also connected to Savannah, that's connected to Ellen Dershowitz, that's connected to the Mercury right now, that is connected to the Virgin Islands. Okay? All right. All right. So as long as we're on the same page, because I need y'all to know that these connections in our chart matter. When you go to another state or you go to another country, there are things that could be going on with you there that is expressing themselves as you are in that country that could be good or bad. Okay? Let's say you go to a country or you go to another state and you get robbed. You fall asleep on the train and you get robbed. That was foreseen. That connection that you have with that state, that connection that you have with that country is in your chart and it's connected to that state or country's birth chart too. Okay. So Dominic is not only connected to Savannah and Virgin Islands, he's also connected to Mexico with his Sagittarius Neptune. He is also connected to the 1701 that Utah has in their chart. Okay, so Dominic connects to Utah, Mexico. Also, he connects to the 357 in which Virgin Island has. The 1804 is also found in Georgia. It's not just Mexico. Dominic also has a connection with Georgia, Florida. Okay, so we can see that these transits are showing up. Mercury is talking. There is media talk. There is media talk about Dominic, about Virgin Islands, about Savannah, about Alan Dershowitz right now. It's not just me that's talking about them. It's other people. Other people are talking about Prince Andrew, Mike Feldman. Okay, now let's look at the 628 because I'm about to show you what is to come. We're going to look at Nancy's map. Just give me just a few minutes. Hold on. Let me see when this is going to come into transit. 627. Let's go back. Yeah, Mike is going to be in transit again tomorrow. So, I mean, this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's do the minutes because this is my default. Nashville, Tennessee is a default for me. And I'm going to get it right to the moment that the lunar nodes of fate come to a 628 because this is going to matter with Nancy's case. It's going to connect the fate with her and Tomasso. But there is also connections that are showing up with Mike Feldman. Okay. Watch this. Okay. Here we go. Here is, let's look at Nancy first. And then I'm going to show you Tomasso because that's coming. That's coming too. And of course, Friday night, right? Well, when was this? Hold on. Oh, shoot. Hold on, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on. Watch this. Okay, sorry. My son was FaceTiming me. I had to go in the other room and be like, I'm live. He's going to be joining me on a live soon. I can't wait. We're going to be talking about some really cool stuff when he does. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be juicy. Let's see. With mythology. Okay, so if we look at, let's go back. Let me look at Nancy's. Okay, Nancy and, okay, so this is going to be tomorrow. This is actually going to be at like 4, this is going to be before 5 a.m. Nashville time. So before 5 a.m. Nashville time, we are going to see a divine justice. Okay, this 2956, and let me tell you this. There is a divine justice, okay, that is coming to oppose President Trump. So this means that Australia, the divine justice, she is going to be at a 2955 in Aquarius. Donald Trump rises at a 2955 in Leo, and he descends with relationships at a 2955 in Aquarius. So it's about other people, groups, we the people. And the other person that carries the 2955 is King Charles. Okay. So King Charles, NATO, and Donald Trump have this 2955. Okay. I want you to know this. So when I show you this, that's why. So this 2956, we are in the past with President Trump and groups, his little groupies, with the 628 as the lunar node of fate. Okay. The North Node is coming to Nancy's Poseidon in Libra. It's about contracts. It's about relationships. It's about justice. Okay. With the healthcare system. This is a 628 in Pisces, and this is a 628 in Virgo. Well, this axis is a healthcare axis. It's a healthcare axis. Okay. So this is what we're seeing. Okay. This is exactly what we're going to see in the morning. Well, we won't see it because some of us are going to be asleep, won't be up this early, but we will. We'll see it. All right. The 435 with the Mitos is still in transit. There's still a little breaky break with the Pluto, this intense transformation that she shares with Prince Andrew. Okay. So that's going to be in transit with her and Prince Andrew tomorrow. It's in transit today. It's going to be in transit again tomorrow. And then we have Mike Feldman. Well, her son-in-law, Mike, is still in transit. There is a major transformation that has taken place with him. Kids, publicity, his work. Okay. It's every day. So that's what I know for sure that is going to be taking place tomorrow with this energy with Nancy and Trump and Prince Andrew. But we can take it a step further. Okay. We can look at not just her chart, but we can look at other people's charts with this energy that we know that is going to be all about Nancy. Okay. So we can look at, we go back to, where's the Virgin Islands? Okay, let's go back to, oh, what was I looking at? Oh, yeah. Hold on. So what's going to happen on Saturday is the dark moon is going to come and it's going to activate the United States chart. It's going to activate the United States chart with how they shine with relationships and partnerships. Not good. They don't shine all that good, okay? And the dark moon is going to reflect that tomorrow on Saturday. All right, now let's look at this. Let's go to Tomasso. Let's go to Tomasso's chart. They're scheduling a meeting soon. Okay, Tomasso. Let's look at his chart with this energy tomorrow with with Mike and with this is what's going to get interesting, guys. And this is what I want you to remember. I'm going to keep trying to remind you if I can, but I really need y'all to remember. So I'm pretty sure that Tomasso probably has Selena at a 29. It's either a 29.59 or it's a 29.55, a 29.56. Okay. Either way, there's going to be a justice that's going to come here. He has a 29.41. His fate is also with Israel. There's a lot of connections that he is having with Israel. And so I don't know why these connections, because he's not Jewish. But the day that that first ransom came in, he's the one that had the enlightenment. He's the one that had the physician with the enlightenment. And look, this 628 is going to transform him. So there is going to be a transformation that is going to take place with him and the law enforcement tomorrow. Tomorrow. He is going through a Chiron return. So his mother-in-law is going through a Uranus return. He is going through a Chiron return. 2719. Okay. 2719. Tomorrow, though, we're going to have a relationship that is going to bring Savannah Guthrie a conscious raising experience. And that is going to take place by 10 a.m. By 10 a.m. in the morning, Savannah Guthrie is going to have a conscious raising experience with a relationship that is coming to her. And as it does, there is going to be a justice that is creating like this vernal point. There's going to be a wake-up call about an investigation with Arizona. This is going to be this should be a big story tomorrow. Okay. This should be a big story, but is it going to be more smoke and mirrors? We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see how this energy plays out because Savannah has a 504 in her chart and it comes with a lot of emotion about her mom. Well, the media is going to be with that 504 with Savannah. And then there's this relationship with Savannah. And at that time, the dark moon is coming to that 1319. All right. So we're going to see, I think, a lot of intensity tomorrow morning by 10 a.m. Nashville time. So if we take this Chiron and we get it to a 2720, that's when we're going to see, which we're already seeing the Chiron return for, oh shoot, it hasn't even come into that 27 yet. Oh shit. So we're going to see this Chiron return, not just for, if anybody knows Sebastian Rogers' case, we're seeing it with Steve Fisher too. I've got to do a members only live about that. But this is because this is going to be a big one for this case too, for that case too. All right. So what I'm seeing is that there is a 27/7/18. This will begin on April 27th. This will begin the Chiron return for Tomasso. And I see his brother-in-law is also in transit. His brother-in-law is also in transit, paying off somebody. So I want us to really pay attention because within 10 days, Tomasso is going to be in transit with his Chiron return. And I definitely see a lot of attention going to Colorado on this day. So by the time we get there, I will have already looked at it and I will have talked to you a bunch about it. So you can't forget. So you won't forget that that's really what's going on. it's a big time period for, you can see that the 358 is in transit. It's going to come into the 357 that we have already discussed with Savannah. So by April 30th, that's when the Chiron return is really intense for Tomasso, and all of that energy with the 357 with Savannah, with Dominic, and with Virgin Islands are going to be it's going to be transformative. And then Vulcanus again is still at that 353 with Colorado. And we do know that Epstein has connections to Colorado. Now I want you to look at this. The 2417, we know that that 2420 goes to Oklahoma. We also know that that 2420 goes to who? That's right, Hillary Clinton. There's going to be a lot of energy going to Mexico as well. There's going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of confusion, lots of confusion, because what's going to happen before this reigniting of a flame comes with Hillary Clinton? What's going to happen before that is her and the scrubber, Mike, on the 24th and the 25th, they're going to have a weight upon them. Hades brings the underworld knocking at your door. So this means that during this period of time, the 24th and the 25th, Mike Feldman and Hillary Clinton's connection is going to oppose Nancy. It's going to oppose her because the 2949, we can see that the 2949, there is this investigation that is opposing Nancy. It's opposing her. And it's going to first come and oppose her right here at a 2941. And then that 2941 is going to come to the 2944 that the Virgin Islands has. Okay. I also want you to take note that this 1650 is going to be also connecting with Alan Dershowitz. The players don't stop. It just, the numbers, when you do astrology like this and you investigate it like this, it is so like the patterns just continuously show up because the same numbers are showing up. I was just talking about the lunar nodes coming down to the 628 that Tomasso and Nancy share. Well, there's a relationship here with a 628, which you see what I'm saying? The 1404 that we were just talking about, this weight that's going to come over Hillary Clinton and this weight that's going to come over Mike Feldman. Well, the 1404 is here too. We are reflecting the things of the past with Hillary and Mike. And not only that, the connection that Hillary and Nancy have with the 1808, Jupiter is expanding it with the relationships of home. It's the same people that just keep showing up time after time. And so when that happens, you have to ask yourself why. And you can't deny it because it doesn't feel good or it's not, accepting in the public eye. You just have to call it for what it is. It's a pattern. These patterns continuously show up time and time again, time and time again. And I'm showing you the connections, and these connections are very much real. I can read your chart if you don't believe me, but I'm not going to read it for free. But I can read it for you. I can read your chart. I can show you these connections. And if I ask you, why is it that you have a connection with such and such? You're going to be like, how did you know? It's just a numbers game. I'm matching numbers. I want to show you one last thing though, because this is what really hit me. I want to show you this with the astrology. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I'm definitely seeing Ghislaine Maxwell in this too. And 435 is coming into transit. Look at that with Prince Andrew. Look, it just doesn't stop. It's just the same numbers time and time again. My God, I see Tennessee up in here too. Tennessee is showing up in here too with the transits. With this in the middle of the night on the 25th, Tennessee is showing up. I don't know why, but this is wild. And it looks like it's crazy. I can't even. I mean, maybe that's where Sebastian Rogers is. He's at the Epstein Island too. Jesus. Okay, so let me show you this. This is absolutely, yeah, I can't make it up. Look at this. Okay, so where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Nancy and the late Queen. When I tell you that she has a warring with the late Queen, I mean it. She really does. She absolutely does. I can even see that Miss Queen Elizabeth, she had a connection with the Secret Service, our Secret Service. You see, these people also run our country. These people also run our country. We are being led. I don't care who you elect for president. We have leaders of our country that are not in our country. Okay? This 419 in the 7th house of relationships and partnerships with the family that goes to Hillary Clinton, the 419, that goes to Hillary. Well, that 419 is also a connection with Nancy. So Nancy's warring all of this discord and strife goes with the queen and her family, her kids. Who are her kids? Right? So we got to take that in consideration too when we're looking at connections, because this shit is running deep. I mean, we got to put on our muck boots. It's that deep. It's that deep, guys. So I don't know if they're going to try to blame it on the absconder, William. If they're going to try to blame it on him, let me turn off my addresses. Oh, Janet, thank you so much for being here, honey. I appreciate you. I know, girl. I can't wait for Jody too. That's going to be so much fun. It's just going to be fun. Jody's fun. And he's really smart when it comes to the mythology. And I don't know I'm thinking we're going to talk about maybe Kronos, Zeus, or maybe both. I don't know. But it's going to be fun. It'll be great. I don't know if he's going to be here, if he's just going to join me or what. So we'll have to talk about that. Me and him will have to talk about that. Okay, so I was talking about Utah connections, and we do have Utah with the missing event. I was talking about Colorado, and we do have a Grand Junction. We've got a Grand Junction connection with Epstein. We've got Utah. We got the CIA. We got different things, different people. We know that Dominic also connects to Utah, right? We know that Nancy's missing event. There's, hold on just a second. All right. We know that we've got connections to the war. We've got connections to the UK. Actually, let's see if we have a natal connection to the UK. We do. We do. And this is her natal Jupiter. So the Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini doesn't do well. Jupiter rules Sag. Okay. She rules Sag. So, or he rules Sag, whatever. Jupiter doesn't want to go far in Sagittarius. It's debilitated. It does really good in other signs, but not in its opposite sign. So natal Jupiter is showing us that there's two. Who are the two? We know that there's two people that Savannah was really coming hard on, and that was Prince Andrew and Alan Dershowitz. Okay, so if we follow this one, for just a second. We know that this is going to her natal Jupiter. So let's look at that. Hold on. Let's look at her natal Jupiter. It's around 11 degrees, 1130. Maybe it's 1132. Maybe it's 1133. Maybe it's 1125. It probably wouldn't be that, but there it's in the 11 degree. Okay, so let's look at Savannah. Okay, so Savannah has her Jupiter, and it's in a good standing. It's good. It's working out for her. It's in the, it's in the same, it's in Sag, Jupiter like Sag. Okay, so we know that that's good. All right. Let's look at Dominic with the Sagittarius and the Gemini energy. He's got an 1148. So he also has an 11 Gemini. Okay. Her Jupiter is not going to connect, but there is something here. Okay, let's go back. 1148. 1148. Let's look at, okay, her Chiron, Nancy's Chiron could definitely be an 1148. It could be an 1148. He is going to be right there with her with that 11 degree if I were to put him on the map. Let's look at Prince Andrew and Alan Dershowitz. Let's look at Alan real quick. Let's look at Alan. Well, he rises with a 10 degree, so he's going to be right there with her. He's going to be right there at that 10 degree. Okay. He's going to be right there. Let's see. If anybody I wonder if I have his daughter, because I'm just wondering if his daughter, there's something about his fifth house of kids that's just not setting right with me. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of investigation on his daughter, on his kids. Got to do some investigation with these kids because he shows up way too much with Nancy's case. He just does. Okay. He just does. And he shouldn't be. He really shouldn't be now. Neither should Prince Andrew. Let's see. Well, he definitely has 11 Leo. He's got the 4 Leo. That would be connecting to Nancy, this 4 and the 11. So he definitely connects to her Pluto. Her Pluto. Let's go back. Let's go back to Nancy's. So let's look at the Jupiter again. She has a square to the nodes with Jupiter. Her nodes are a 15 in Pisces. So that fate, she definitely could be connected to Alan Dershowitz with that 1650, with the Iran war, the 1015, with what's her face? Let's go to that 628. Hold on. This is why they want to take her down into Mexico, but I don't know that she would be in Mexico. I don't even know if she's going to be found, guys. Like ever. Let's go back to that Jupiter. The Jupiter in Gemini should be close to the home. Like we could be talking about neighbors. Let's go back down. Let me turn on the addresses and see if there's anything that's connecting. It should be going this way. The 22, 25 here. The missing is going. So the missing Hygeia in Gemini. With her Chiron and Leo. With her Chiron and Leo. Okay. So her Leo Chiron, this is where she is going to be. If I were to put Prince Andrew into this chart, I would be putting him. So this angle right here with the sextile. Okay, so it's sextiling Chiron and Leo. But where's her Pluto? Did I not put that in here? No. 124. Hold on. I don't have her Pluto in here because this is where they're going to connect. This is where her and the prince. I mean, who the hell? It's 2026. You ain't no prince, dude. You're a freaking pedo. Like, gross. Okay, so let's draw this one in because I want to see where this one is going to go. Because it was definitely transforming her, right? Let's turn off everything. Okay. Let's take this 124 compass bearing because Leo is a 120. So we just add the 4 Leo. And that's going to be a 124 compass bearing. Okay. Let's keep on going. Let's take this on down. 124. I want to keep on going. I want to see where this is going to lead us to. Because this is a connection that her and Andrew share in their charts. The 124. So this would be a Pluto conjunct Chiron. Okay? Pluto conjunct Chiron. We can keep on going. If we wanted to see what other countries are showing up. Okay. So this Pluto, let's go back. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. So we are going to 120 is Leo. So all we're going to do is add 11. So it's going to be a 131. And this is going to connect to Prince Andrew to get a little bit clarity if he is the ringleader. If he were to be the ringleader, then this is where we could likely find her. Okay. Let's see. Now let's turn on the addresses. I'm going to turn on everything like old mines, reservations, crypto, Nancy's friends, mining, gyms, firearms, addresses. Just turn it all on. Shit. Okay. Nancy Grace interviewed Jeff. That's the neighbor. Hacienda. What is this? Okay, so this is Hacienda del Sol Estates. I don't know why I've got that. Fort Lowell Park Historic Museum. Vista Senior Living. The Tucson Tourist Center. Okay, so this is where when I talk about the Israeli ambassador coming to Arizona the actual day. Okay, look. The other fact is this. When Nancy went missing, it was a full moon in Leo. Was it a full moon? I think it was a full moon in Leo when she goes missing. So it's expanding teachers. It's expanding travel. It's expanding with a lot of attention. It's expanding with kids. Okay. It's expanding with schools and educators. Okay. The Israeli ambassador had come into town that day, or maybe the night before, and he was here at the Tucson Center, right here that I'm showing you on the map. This is where he was, okay? And we know that there's a lot of loyalty to BB, right? We know that there's a lot of loyalty. Let me go back. So here is the Tucson Tourist Center. We've got different, different places. I don't know where he stayed. I don't know where he stayed at all. But I would imagine he probably stayed close to the school. Okay, well, it's not going right over the school, so let's see what about the FBI? Where's the FBI? Okay, so the FBI is right here with her. This is what really, really matters, is because the FBI is right here with her, right on this conjunction, okay? This is where they are slowed down with how they shine, because there is something going on with a government official, with the FBI. That's why they haven't solved it yet. And then we have Nancy's Pluto that is conjunct the Chiron here. This is where she is connecting with Prince Andrew. And there is a justice. There is a justice here. And so I do wonder where this dude stayed, where he stayed. Because this is where, let me see. It's right here where he went. This is where he was at the Tucson Hebrew Academy. So all of this is like Jewish, like almost like a Jewish type of territory, It's kind of like a Jewish type of territory. And it would definitely coincide with the Leo energy, because we're looking at a school. We're looking at attention. What is this? Let's see what this is. What is this place? I can't keep going. What is this place? What is this? This is an Orthodox church. I can't read it. But there's an Orthodox church right here. And this is in the very back. This is what I'm talking about. So when we look at something Orthodox church, what is that? 3939. 3939 North Alvernon. St. Demetrios, Greek. Ooh, ooh, what? Oh, hell, now we're getting into the Greece. Okay, hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. Let me put this here. Now, let me pull up Greece, because we do know that one of the guys who was first, the guy that sold Luke the car, Mr. Greek dude. Interesting. Mr. Greek. So we've got this church. I would think it would be more about the academy, not a church, because it's Leo. But I will definitely look at Greece too. Hold on. Okay, so let's go back. Let's ride these lines here. We got the park. We got a country club. We got a hotel. We got Costco. We got Mercedes-Benz of Tucson. No, nothing is really, nope. Sam's, no. Fellowship Center Apartments, Retirement Center. Arborego, where gloves were found. Where gloves were found? Gloves were found way down here? Surely not. What? I don't think so. That had to have moved. Surely not. I don't think gloves were found this far down, but maybe they were. Baker's Memorial, John's Guns, Center Service. Let's see, Lehman Academy. Lehman Academy of Excellence. Well, I'll put that there before I actually found the Hebrew one. See, we're going to, is there St. David? Let's go back up. No. This is what's going to be opposed coming up is the 2941. Let me put it up. Because I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's Raytheon. Raytheon Building 847, Raytheon 801. So this is what connects to Israel and Russia. So this actually connects to, this degree connects to Vladimir personally, and the 2941 connects to Missouri with the Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. And the 2941 that Nancy has in her chart also connects to, Israel. So we've got Israel, and we can see that there's a lot of, this is an airport. And this is exactly where the Israeli ambassador flew into the day that she went missing. He flies, or the night, I don't know when he flew in, but this is where he flew in, right here. So it could definitely be the international airport. And she was taken somewhere else. And it has to do with the Epstein stuff. That's what I think. So that's what I'll be thinking. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Yes, bring Nancy Guthrie home. That's what we want. That's what we want. So what do you guys think about everything that I've showed you? What do y'all think? I'm curious. I'm curious to know what you guys think. So even if you're watching this after the live, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, because I think that there's a lot of things that we need to be talking about. There's a lot of things that we need to be talking about. Brian Enton, he also, let me remove this. He was also talking to somebody about the DNA. Well, again, if the DNA is not, I'm just not, I don't know. I don't think that someone that is covered from head to toe is going to leave hair fibers. And if these hair fibers are connected to somebody else, it could be a plant. I'm just not believing. I'm not trusting this government. I'm not trusting these agencies. I don't think that the FBI is just going to all of a sudden just do great on this case, especially if they have inside knowledge about what really happened. I just don't trust any of them. I don't trust it, none of them. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, guys. But I've been on here for 2.5 hours. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Your time is energy, and I really appreciate it, especially to learn something new. This is so different. It's just so different the way that we look at astrology. And I do want to show you guys one of my new decks. Shauna sent this to me, and she said that she remembered that it was that I'd gotten really excited about seeing it because the back of the cards have a wolf, and my stepson and I and Jeff and his dad, Josh's dad, we also have that 2941 in our chart. And we are, 29 degree is very critical when it comes to, if you've got a 29 in your chart, you know what I'm talking about. It's very intense. And it's a cycle. It's these patterns that you're going to go through. And she had gotten this for me because she knew that Josh, I'm very connected with Josh, and the wolf and the eagle are two, he had a lot of things that were wolf or eagle. So I just wanted you guys to know that I've got a new deck, and I'm going to be reading this oracle very soon, hopefully tomorrow or tomorrow night even. Can you clarify if Feldman is in conflict with Savannah, with what she was doing in support of victims? I'm just confused on his regular role. I'm wondering that myself, because she made it known that Mike Feldman, her that they had broken up. Excuse me, that they had broken up and that she wasn't going to marry him. And then she decided to marry him. So I think it's interesting to think about her relationship with the Clintons and whether or not she would have had anything at all to do. I don't think so because of the way that she came down hard. I wonder if this has taken a toll on their marriage. There's so many questions because we can't talk to him. We don't know if this is anything that Mike would have been involved in, or if this is something that he is being made because he knows certain things. Maybe this is something that these people have used against him. So maybe the Guthrie family themselves are all innocent. Maybe they are all just innocent. Maybe they're all victims. But we're just going to have to see how this plays out. You know, we just have to see how this plays out because there are certain connections that are in his chart that are definitely opposing Nancy. And I mean, we can take a look at that if you'd like. Let's look at that real quick. Let's look at that because I think that would, if you've got the interest, I definitely want to pursue that interest with you, Janet. So let's look at it. And I'm going to keep it simple. Well, no, I can't. I can't keep it simple with this chart because if I did that, then you wouldn't learn everything that I would want you to learn, right? So let's don't do that. But I want to instead of doing a dual wheel, I'm going to show you another way to read a chart, which the way that I do it, I think it's simple. It doesn't look so confusing, but I'm going to show you another way. So what we can do is we can take Nancy's chart. We can put, which we don't know what time that either of them are born. So, but what we can do is we can put Michael and we can see in which way that they're connecting. So this is called a bi-wheel. Let's don't do that. Yeah, it's too much. I think it'd be just too much on you. Michael and Savannah. Let's look at just Michael and Savannah. So Michael, she has a 29 Virgo. Okay. We know that Nancy has a 29 Virgo that goes over Raytheon, right? Her 29 Virgo with Michael, anything that is a 00 Aries, anything that is a Pisces. Okay, so we want to look for anything that would be a Piscean energy. Well, he doesn't have, we don't know what his Pisces energy is. So we really can't know for sure. We can look at Savannah, excuse me. We can see that her Chiron is conjunct his North Node. So her Chiron is conjunct his North Node. Her Mars is conjunct his Chiron and Hygeia. So it's really, for me, looking at it as a synastry, it just doesn't look good. It looks like that they are fated with a lot of healing and a lot of warring, especially when it comes to the law. And she's an attorney. She had, she graduated as with a law degree. So this attorney energy, right? This attorney energy that she has with the Epstein files, with the connection that she has with the island, all that Sag energy. Well, what is opposing it? You know, it's up here. This Gemini energy is opposing it. So she has Saturn and Kronos. She's got a 7 and a 0. So her Kronos and his Kronos, but his Kronos is conjunct the dark moon. So he reflects with two people. He has a lot of disordered aggression where she doesn't. So he is opposing her Mercury. So the media is where he opposes. So I think that that's a good question because her 13 degree, his 13 degree is opposing. This is her media. This is her communications. This is where she communicates. And he has disordered aggression with past communications. So I think that that's a good question. Yeah. So her Mercury is opposing his dark moon. That means that the dark moon is coming here to oppose him. And that's Savannah. Savannah is the dark moon is going to come to her Mercury no matter what time she's born. Let's say that she has a 1313. Let's take it back. Let's go to let's see. Let's take Savannah back. And let's get it at like a 1308. If we can. Let's get that to like a 1308 or a 1317. So the disordered aggression. Okay, so if we took her to, this would be the king. Okay, so this could be King Charles. The UK, King Charles, UK. That's really where I'm going with this. Hold on. Law, children, publicity, teacher, educator, attention, competition. That's King Charles. This is King Charles. And this is a 12, 11. This is a Gemini energy that's going to the UK. Let me look at this. Hold on. That's Gemini. So Mike Feldman, his dark moon is going to go here. This is where the communications are opposing Savannah, right? Because if she has a 13 in Sag, this Gemini energy is opposing her. So it's actually the 13 Sag is going to go like toward Hawaii, you know, toward Indonesia. But no, it's going to go like toward, yeah. So no, we're going into Missouri. We're going into Missouri, into something else is in Missouri though. Security campus. Oh gosh, who else is there? Where McCaslin worked. Larry Summers. So Larry Summers. And of course, it's going into Massachusetts where this is going into Glasgow. That's going north. So we're looking at the United Kingdom, Scotland, Ireland. That's Buckingham. Let me pull up Buckingham. Let's just see what exactly this compass bearing is. Let's see what this is exactly. So it's a 76. So that's a 16 Gemini. That's a 16 Gemini. And so from Buckingham Palace, it'll be a 16 Sag. So we've got a 16 Sag, a 16 Gemini. 16 Sag, 16 Gemini. He has a 16 Gemini. This is where he learns. So Mike Feldman does have a 16 Gemini. Let's keep on going. Hold on. 16 Gemini. That's going to the Buckingham Palace. He has a 17. It's right there. Let's see. King Charles. He's got a 12. Let's look at where's so we know Mike Feldman does. Let's look at Dominic. No. He's got an 18. No, I'm not. Let's look at Tomasso. He could have a 16 Gemini with his Mercury. It's definitely right there. It's definitely right there with Mercury. Let's look at Prince Andrew. He has the 27. He's got the 21. He's got a 20 and a 19. And it's not exact. Let's go back. Hillary Clinton. She has the 18. So yeah, I mean, and she's got a 20, she's got a 20 Sag, so that could be, but man, Tomasso and Mike, let's look at, hold on, let me pull up Annie. Because Annie connects to King Charles too with Homeland Security. And speaking of Homeland, let's go ahead and bring them up too. Let's look at Annie and her connection with Homeland, their connection with King Charles, because they have a 349 in their chart. King Charles has a 349. Savannah Guthrie has a 349, and so does Annie. And this 349 connects to, like I said, and like I showed you, it definitely connects to Homeland and to King Charles. So Annie Guthrie, her Vulcanus sits on the 12th house outer wheel of King Charles. It sits right there at the 349 that connects to Homeland Security. So, and it's no matter what time she's born. I don't have to know that she is born at a certain time to know that she connects to King Charles or that she connects to Homeland Security, because she does. She just does. They have a 14 Gemini. So yeah, I mean, they have the 14 and the 14. So a 14 and a 16. There's the 16 Sag. So Homeland is definitely connecting with Nancy Guthrie's case as well. It just is. If I were to draw those lines out, that's where they're going to go. You know, they're going to, they rise going southwest, and then they descend with relationships going into the UK to the king, to Buckingham Palace. They descend with Buckingham Palace. And I bet they do. They descend going that way. FBI, let's look at them. Let's look at them. So, because I want you guys to know that the FBI, if we think that they are corrupt on one case or this case or that case or, the Epstein, well, damn, what makes you think that they're going to be on the up and up with Nancy Guthrie? I just don't make it make sense because it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Let's just look at the FBI by themselves and see their Gemini energy, because the Gemini, they've got the 17. So this is going to connect to Mike Feldman. This 1710 that goes to the Buckingham Palace connects to Mike Feldman. Boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. It just does. So that Hygeia is going all the way to Buckingham Palace right here. So let's look at that. The FBI, there's the Hygeia right here. And we can make it go all the way out. 17. Right there. And there it is. Wisdom with communications. There's two people. Two. And this could also be about the ring camera as well. And so for the FBI, the Poseidon in Virgo is challenging. Okay, so let's look at that. Let's look at the challenging factor for the FBI with this Hygeia. And it's going this way. And look where it's going. It's going to Sonora, Mexico. I can't make it up. I can't make it up, guys. It's going to Sonora, Mexico. Where Charles Guthrie allegedly had a heart attack. Remember, he allegedly had a heart attack when he was there in Sonora. Mr. Engineer with mines. Yeah. So and then this is going over Nogales or Nogales, however you pronounce it. So if we go back and we just look at this angle right here, and we just focus on this one, let's pull up the addresses, because this is where there's the challenge with us and with the FBI. So it's going to go south. Okay, let me turn on the addresses here. It's going to go south with any of these houses. Rio Vista Compassion Garden. I've marked that. We got Winter Haven. We got East Prince Road. We've talked about this road right through here, East Prince. Prince Tucson. It's definitely Poseidon and Virgo. This isn't Leo, but this is a Virgo. So we've got St. Francis Church, where Kayla used to live per her DUI. South Arizona chapter. Let's see what else. What else we got? What else? South Avernon Way. We were just looking at that address. And then we've got the landfill. We got right to the left of the landfill over here on Swan Road. Interesting. Let's look at Swan Road if we can. And it could be something like this where she would be found, or maybe being held somewhere off the beaten path. Let's see what that is. Oh, God. This looks like kind of like let's look at this. On Swan Road. The Swan Plant. It's a recycling plant. It looks like granite, a recycling plant. Hmm. We've got Arizona State Prison. So we got the prison over here. We got an electrical station up ahead, I see. Looks like a bunch of trucks, like semis back here. And it's a restricted area back there. And then we've got right here on Swan Road, because the FBI line is going straight down on Swan. Then we also have the electrical place. That could definitely be Virgo. It's like a hub. Then we can keep on going. We're going to go into Patagonia, Santa Cruz. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Man, oh man. That poor girl. Joe Lockhart, Bill Clinton, press secretary, Joe Lockhart. I mean, that's another one. That's another one we could even look up, because that man, but that Buckingham Palace, there it is. High GN Gemini, and this 1710 is look, let me show you Dominic, and because Dominic and Mike Feldman, okay, they both have the 1710. Dominic and Mike Feldman both have a 1710 that connect to the FBI, and the FBI line that goes all the way to the Buckingham Palace. Okay, 1710. So if we look at the 1710, if we looked at the 1701 that connects to Utah, we know that there's things that Dominic is connecting to Utah and to the Buckingham, it connects to the UK, it goes all the way out there. Dominic also connects to Mexico, to Georgia, to different, to other states, but definitely to these places. So I just wanted to let you guys know that these connections are showing up in the FBI chart too. So the 1710, that is where I believe that Mike Feldman could be connected to the FBI. So this is at 12:30 in the morning, but it doesn't take long for him to connect to that 1710. So if we go back to the fourth house of home, there's the 1710. Mike Feldman has a 29 degree with Hygeia with Pisces, possibly. So if he were to have this 29 that is opposing Nancy Guthrie, even if he didn't, even at the 0 of Aries, there's an opposition with Nancy and Raytheon, with Nancy and Missouri, with Nancy and Israel. There's an opposition. So there is something so much more that's going on with this family. It really is. Could be, it just is. And Mike Feldman connects to Missouri in a big way. And I do know that there's just things that I think that I would hope that would come clean, that he, that would come to light, but it's so hard to say that that's going to even happen, because Nancy is, her having that 26 Taurus degree, it's really hard to say that she's even going to be found. So It just really sucks that she has that degree, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, there is a lot to look at. There's a lot to look at, and we're investigating with the tool of astrology because it's all numbers. It's numerology type of stuff, but we're just taking the numbers and we're looking at the patterns and how they connect to other people, how they connect to people, places, and things, you know. But that's the way we can study it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. It's almost 3 hour long. I didn't want to do it this long, but thanks for hanging out with me as much as you guys could. You're troopers. I love you so much, and I'll be back on to be, I want to read some cards and do some live astrology. Anybody that wants to have their chart read, so maybe later tonight or tomorrow, we'll see. All right, peace out, guys.